All right, Lions fans, we're coming back with part two of the Von Miller selection. Out of all the players that I can actually add to this roster, even if it would take on his cap situation, the cap cost. I don't know if it's 50 million. I would take on that and to bring him over here. Of course, that if the case that the Broncos was willing to part ways and he was willing to part and to come to this organization, not come to the team of last year, but come to this current developed. I won't say, excuse me. Let me not say develop this current building structure, this current regime. I would love for Von Miller to be added to this team, and here's the reason why I would say. Now, in the last video, I talked about like I gave the comparison that he would be my Rasheed Wallace type move, and not a draft pick, not a, like a not a draft pick, but not a trade just for the because it's a big move, but actually a player that checks off all the boxes with actually that is how can I say it is actually it will be tied into what you already have going with the current roster. Now, with the mindset that what Quinn was bringing in this year, or brought in this year, and what he brought in last year. Now, okay, you have made some addition with subtractions. You have arguably two of your best defenders you let go, and like in 1 year, and pretty much with Diggs and Slay, they were arguably like your two best defenders. You let them go, and then you throw in another one. You let I can't think of his name, but he goes to Atlanta, I believe. I can't think of his name. I think he was a D end or he was a linebacker. I forgot what he was. But anyway, you let him walk too as well. So you're talking about three of your best defensive players that you let go. All right. With that being said, in their place, in their how you replace them or put it to be put in their place, you added True Font, or you could say you added Jamie Collins, and then you could say you added Deron Harmon, right? So like that was the addition with subtraction. You, I really would like to know the gentleman name that went to Atlanta that they let go. They cut. I cannot think of his name. But anyway, with what they replaced it with, I they didn't just replace it for talent like type deal or contract for contract, but they brought in players like that has that Super Bowl caliber, talent. They have been to the mountaintop type deal, and they replaced it with that. So this is ties in to the point of why I would love for trade, not trade, why I would love for Von Miller to be on this current roster team is because how he complements like three areas. He I mean he improves three areas. Let's say it that way. He improves the defensive line. He improves the linebacker core, and he improves the secondary. Somebody says, how does he improve the secondary? Well, if you got a 7 second clock, the quarterback does to get the ball out, right? You got a 7 second clock. Now with the Lions prior years, you probably had 14 seconds plus, but this year you got 7 seconds. You don't have 7 seconds just get it out, but look what's coming at you. 7 seconds. And I understand, like you got the Dallas Cowboys, what they did in the draft, and what they brought in also. They brought in Quinn and they brought in another guy, Everson Griffin. All right, they doubled up on it. I get that. That still doesn't do anything with me because I believe the talent that we brought in this year on the defense vastly improves our offensive line. Now, if the talent that we was going to, if the personnel that we had last year, from the offensive standpoint, I mean from the defense standpoint, going up against that offensive line, okay, they're gonna get ate up by any team that they going up against Because I'm sorry, the practices actually is, for me personally, they are actually the game. That is the film room. That is the study. That is the tape. That is everything that you're actually playing against, and that shows me in the practice what you're going up against on a what's that, a Monday through Friday type deal. That shows me your preparation for the Sunday game, but it also shows me if you're going to self implode or not. If you look at the great teams or the dynasties, whatever, it's their practices. It's actually the comp the competition or the competitiveness in the practice. Now we can always say that it's the starters versus the bench players, but no, it's football or it's basketball or whatever the sport it is. You're only as good as the team that is assembled. So if the number twos is saying like we're not number twos, and if you want to label as number twos, we're going to show you that we can take down the number ones. If you have that going on in your locker room, man, in practice, not in your locker room, but in practice, you're going to have a monster of a team. So, with that being said, if I add Von Miller on this team, he makes the secondary better. He makes the linebackers better. He makes the defensive line better, which ultimately makes the offensive line better. Now, we need for when we play against the teams like the Dallas Cowboys or the 49ers or Minnesota or Dallas or whoever that we play that's considered the elite the Chicago Bears, whatever, the elite defensive lines or whatever the case may be. We need our offensive line to be stout, not just doing their job, but being above doing their job. In other words, posing their will. I haven't seen a Detroit offensive line get to the second level on a consistent basis. I see them just get maybe to the first level, and if so, they're getting pushed back. That's why the running backs is always getting hurt because there's no holes to get through. Yeah, and that's how I believe that why Kerryon Johnson is like not successful here because there's no push up front. And of course, somebody could say his vision need to improve and so forth. Yeah, okay, okay, all right, I'll give you that. But it helps if your offensive line gets you some push. If your offensive line is constantly getting pushed around, uh, average doesn't do it for me. I need you to be dominant. That means that when you make a move, the move that you make, you expecting the defensive opponent to counter that move, to come off that, to face off that move. That's why you set up that move just for that, so they can bite on it. And then you got two other moves. I'm expecting that kind of dominance from my offensive line, and this is why I'm saying that when if you bring in Super Bowl caliber talent on this team, not just like household name talent. Just give me a guy that checks off all the boxes. Okay, if you're looking for an edge rusher that can drop back, that can give you pressure, that can do this, that can play the run, but actually that's great. But I need somebody to be able to complement what I have established or what's about to be established. I need someone to, without having to teach them how to position themselves, to be in a position to make a play. Von Miller is what you would call a seasoned vet. He is my Rasheed Wallace. When the Pistons brought Rasheed Wallace here, he didn't have to learn how to play with them guys. He knew how because he was unselfish for number one. That's why he fit. He didn't have put a. Let me see. Uh, you could have put arguably Tim Duncan, Rasheed Wallace, Chris Webber, and I'm missing one, Kevin Garnett, all in this lineup. All right, and with the Pistons, and they would have did equally the same thing. All right, but Rasheed Wallace and Tim Duncan. Well, I would say Tim Duncan will probably be the closest to surpassing Rasheed Wallace coming here or being successful. That is because Tim Duncan can give you so much more than just what he does. Rasheed Wallace is going to get you inside, outside, and defense. Correct. Tim Duncan may not get you the outside, but his inside is so dominant. It changes the whole dynamic. But Weber may get you inside outside, but no defense. Garnett gonna get you defense, but not outside. He may get you inside. He may get you mid range, but not outside. Like Rasheed Wallace, right? And let's say if you scratch all those off the board and you were to add a Dirk Nowitzki on this team, you would have to teach Dirk how to play defense and how to play off the players offensively, right? Rasheed Wallace was a guy that you didn't have to teach him how to play off the guys. He knew how to read and react. He was a quick study. That's why he was like the perfect fit because he can play inside, he can play outside, he can play defense. He's unselfish. He's skilled. His IQ is off the chart. He was the perfect fit because you don't have to position him. You don't have to teach him how to do his job. That's why I say Von Miller is Rasheed-esque type trade because he's the guy that you don't have to teach him how to play the DN, how to do a couple pass moves to get pressure to the quarterback, or how to play off your linebacker, or how to play off your D tackles, or whatever formation that you're going to play. You don't have to teach him how to do it. He's ready to go. Versus a guy like you may get like a Chris Jones or Nyakwe or anybody else, or Everson Griffin that was on the market at the time, or even the gentleman, the free agent from Seattle, Jadeveon Clowney. I believe you have to teach them how to put them in a position. And even though they may have, I don't know, Jadeveon, I don't know if he was on the Super Bowl team. I don't know because I think when he went to uh, when he was playing with JJ Watt, I don't know if they went to no. When he went to Seattle, no, I don't think so. Von Miller's the guy, and this is the reason why. Because I believe that he will make if Jamie Collins is going to make Jelani Tavai better, Von Miller will make Jamie Collins better. If Danny Shelton is going to make Trey Flowers better, Von Miller will make Trey Flowers better. If Deron Harmon and Trufant is going to make Tracy Walker and Awarie better in that secondary, then Von Miller, by him giving that defensive front, that front seven, you know, that front seven, that 7 seconds of left type deal, getting to the quarterback, that makes that secondary that much more elite. Man, you're talking about read and react type deal with the secondary. You got your closer back there in Deron Harmon. You got your closer. He's like Glover Quinn type deal, or I want to say like a. I'm not saying that they are one of the same or they will have the same similar success, but like a Ed Reed, he can read and react. He can play off of it. If you got a guy that can get you, okay, you have Trey Flowers, Danny Shelton. Let's say if you got your rotation with Deshaun Hand and Jamie Collins in your secondary. I mean, your linebacker with the Jelani Tavai and whoever that you plug in there, right? And to round that off. But on the edge of your 3-4, so like if you're under the 3-4 on your edge, you got Von Miller, right? Man, oh man, oh man, man, oh man, oh man. I can't think of the gentleman that they let go that went to Atlanta. What did he go to Atlanta or did he go to Arizona? I forgot where he went to, but he was playing linebacker DN for us, and they let him go. I can't think of his name, but he did a decent job here. But Von Miller is like, put like this: what Mimino Core was able to do. No, I'm sorry. Let me change that. What Cliff Robinson was able to do next to Ben Wallace was great because it got you to the Eastern Conference Finals. It was great, right? So, would you say that Rasheed Wallace is a step up from Cliff Robinson? So let's say let's play that game. Von Miller is a step up from. This is bothering me. The gentleman that they let go this offseason. he's a step up. I would if it would be a 50 million cap hit, I would pay that. And of course, if they're talking about a first rounder, of course you know that's not going to happen. But if you're talking about some reasonable additions to that to trade for him, and he wouldn't mind coming to play off of, Trey and Danny and Jamie and he like what we got building here. And if you don't mind playing with that, and yeah, it's done. Him on one side or across from Trey. He put me in the mind of if we would have gotten Jared Allen, not Jared Allen, Josh Allen. Man, I wanted that one above anything else. I wanted him more than I wanted the Isaiah Simmons pick. If put like this, if Jared Allen, but see at the same time, I'm also enjoying the T.J. Hawkinson pick because he's going to be a beast this year. That's not a pipe dream or something like that. T.J. Hawkinson is going to be a monster. He's going to be trouble. Look what he's going up against in practice. They coming for him like Tracy, and he's making Tracy better. Deron Harmon, that secondary, he's coming. I mean, and this is what I'm talking about. The culture change. The culture change. I mean, you got a guy that's whispering in Tracy Walker's ear. All right, the selective practice is Tracy Walker's going up. Got okay. As we've been hearing in the media, T.J. Hawkinson has been pretty much a beast, like unstoppable, right? So he going up against it, right? And Jamie, Walker is going up against it, right? And but you got somebody like Deron Harmon whispering in his ear, saying like, we don't lose to that. This is what we're gonna do. And then all of a sudden you seeing Walker like making these plays. I'm not saying that will actually happen. I'm saying what if that did happen? I'm saying that's a culture change. That's a Super Bowl caliber type deal versus like for the past 2 years, this team has basically been isolated with individuals. Basically only have their own separate agenda. I didn't see a team camaraderie. I don't care about the talent. I don't care about that you're your household name, and that don't matter. I need like what player is going to complement the other player. What player is going to bring the best out of the other player. Your money's you're going to get your money. If you do it right, you will get your money. If Trey Flowers can get 90 million, you're going to get your money. All you got to do is do what you got to do. I mean, do what you're supposed to do. Make yourself so valuable that they can't afford to lose you. You know what I mean? Don't go in the media try to demand stuff. I mean, then you make yourself expendable. You can go. But anyway, that's neither here or there. But I guess that does bring my point to why I will bring in Von Miller. He's a guy that he gets it. Now I don't know him personally. I don't know how he's conducting himself in Denver or nothing like that. I'm saying if based upon what I saw and what I hear, and of course the media and so forth, and how he's conducting, and I'm not hearing anything off-putting and nothing like that. So add him next to or across from a Trey Flowers, next to a Jamie Collins and a Jelani Tavai. Man. And then you talking about give me Danny Shelton, Mike Williams. Give me that as my rotation with a Deshaun Hand, whatever. You got your Aquara brothers and so forth. You got man, even Reggie Ragland pitching in. Jared Davis. I'm saying he will be. Oh my lord, my lord, my lord. Man, I wanted a couple years ago. I wanted the Pat Pete trade. You know what I mean? I wanted him, and I was considering that as my Rasheed Wallace type of trade because I thought the team was ready, but the team was still filled with a bunch of individuals that didn't have, and I didn't know what I know now then that what Quinn was trying to develop, what Quinn is actually developing. He's developing a Super Bowl caliber atmosphere. That's from the top all the way down. And anybody who doesn't have Super Bowl on their resume, Yeah, I don't think you're here. I'm sorry. I don't think you're here or you will be here type deal. If you don't have Super Bowl, I'm sorry, on your resume, I don't think you're gonna be here. And look at the team. I'm not including rookies and stuff like that, or the players that they drafted. I'm not including that. I'm talking about players that been in the league and they bring it in as free agents. If you don't have that on your team and like that, you won't be here long. They may give you a tryout and they'll try you out because if even if you are from a Super Bowl player, I mean a Super Bowl team, and you come here as a free agent, but this guy who have never been can surpass you and doing check by checking off all the boxes, then we can replace you. So Devin Kennard, that's his name. Devin Kennard, that's the guy. Okay, would you say that Von Miller is a upgrade over Devin Kennard? Would you say Von Miller is an upgrade over Devin Kennard? Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Devin Kennard makes Jamie Collins and Trey Flowers better. That's all I need. That's all I need. My secondary can play off of that. I don't want no other free agent, even though the Quentin Nelson guy, that's intriguing for the offensive line. That's very intriguing. But even with that, I wouldn't want it. I mean, he as dominant as the young guy as he is in that guard spot. I'm cool. I'm cool. Tunney was my guy that I wanted. And if somehow they can get him, whew, man. But anyway, Von Miller, above all else, Von Miller's the guy that checks off all the boxes for me, lining up across from Trey Flowers or being a part of the defensive front four or front seven. I'm sorry, with Trey and Shelton and Deshaun Hand and who anybody who's injured, who wouldn't want to be on the field with that? I'm sorry, you're trying to hurry up and get back to that. You got Von Miller, you got Trey, and you got Jamie Collins and Jelani Tavai. You can't wait to get back on that field because the atmosphere. I'm telling you, it's like the atmosphere is. It's like it's 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 something that this organization have never seen before. When they brought the team going back to the Pistons team when going to work crew when they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? That was cool, and I would say somewhat they overachieved to get there. Even though they beat some teams, they beat Toronto, they beat Milwaukee, and they lost of course against the Nets. But look what the Nets did. The Nets for the I think for the past 2 years up to that point, or maybe that year was their second year to going to the NBA Finals, so they knew how to get there, right? But even with that team, the going to work crew that got to the Eastern Conference Finals, you would say that okay, that was an okay team. But you wouldn't say they would be competing for a title the next following year with that current roster. No. But when they added Rasheed Wallace, and when they first got here, he was figuring it out. Larry Brown was figuring it out, and it wasn't working, right? But once they told him to start being Rasheed Wallace. Don't worry about trying to fit. Don't worry about whatever. Just be you. And once you start being him, and it just clicked. It just showed a dominance. He made everybody better. That's how I look at Von Miller. He makes the secondary better, the middle of the field better. He made the defensive line better. That makes the offensive line better. That makes the run game better. That makes the quarterback better. Because look at what you got to practice up against every day. I mean, Monday through Friday, you practice. You're in a film room, and not just that. Okay, look at this way. In the film room, you got you got Trey, you got Jamie, you got Trufant, you got Harmon, and Danny Shelton, and so forth. Just on the defensive side of the ball, and they all giving an input from what they saw from the Super Bowl type of talent, right? Type of level talent. Not 9-7, not winning a division, but Super Bowl. So they saw some stuff to get to the Super Bowl, right? So they adding their stuff to the meetings or whatever else, and they tweaking, they talking. This is how we can alter this. This is how we can play off of this. They're talking, right? Man, And then you got Von Miller come in with on top of that. No, I'm cool. Von Miller's my guy. And this is part two. All right, Lions fan. I salute.